I'm Lisa Wallen with Directional Learning, and I welcome you teachers and parents to our Teachers Parent Edition. Today, we're moving on to blends, and we're going to be working on L blends. So, if your students done our handwriting program, they should be able to do these blends really easy and quickly because they were able to link all the sounds to the alphabet, and that's what this is. It's just linking the sound and then saying it really fast to make it into a blend. So that's what we're going to be doing with the student today. So all you need flashcards. So you can get flashcards, index cards, and I like them blank on one side and the other side. I do like lines so that if I want to write words on there for them to decode later. So I'm going to move some stuff around because this is what your card's going to look like that you're going to build for them. There's 6 L blends, so you're going to build 6 cards for them. So I'm going to move these to the side here. And the first card should look like this. See how you're going to put it in the center and you're going to put it in the beginning of the card, okay? So that'll be your first one. Then your second one will be here, okay, the CL. Then you're going to build one with the FL with your pen. Then you're going to build one with the GL, and your letters can be larger too. Here I had to type them, so I can only make them so large, but especially younger kids, I like to make it larger for them. Then your PL, and then lastly your SL. So you should have 6 of those cards for the student, okay? So that's how you build your cards. So what I would do is I would show the student this sound card here. I would tell them this is a sound card here. I'm not going to show you the sounds on it yet because we're going to find direction on this card. Do you remember when we found direction on things? Well, this is a thing, so we're going to find direction on it using our numbers. Remember our numbers? So let's count it out. We're going to put these numbers down. What number comes first? We're going to count it out. 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm going to put the 1 here. I'm going to put the 2 there and the 3 there. Well, remember our numbers meant direction. The 1 meant the left, the 2 the middle, the 3 the right. It also means that the 1 is the beginning of the card, 2 is the middle of the card, and 3 is the end of the card. So our card has more direction. This is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the card. Now our sounds are going to live in direction. So for instance, if I brought this sound here, these are sounds, these are letters that make up sounds. That's why I call it a sound card. If I park them here, that would mean that it's in the one direction. And the one direction we said is the beginning of the card. So that's where you would find the sound in the beginning of the card. And you would also find the sound in the beginning of a word or a beginning of a syllable. So you're going to find these sounds parked in direction depending on where they live. So you'd find this in the beginning of the word, beginning of the syllable. And all our L blends are going to live in the beginning. So I'm going to take away the numbers. And if I had a sound that lived here, then you would find this in the beginning of the card. So you would find it in the beginning of the word and the beginning of the syllable. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the beginning. All our L blends will live in the beginning. So that's how our sound cards work. Something else you can show the student too, is what I like to point out is notice that when we did the handwriting program, what did this stand for? The bouncy bed. Well, notice when the bouncy bed is next to the building, that's an L blend. Notice when the cat is next to the building, that's an L blend. Notice when the favorite candy cane is next to the building. Well, that's an L blend too. Notice when the goat's next to the building, that's an L blend. Notice when the palace is next to the building, that's an L blend. Notice when the snake is next to the building, that is an L blend too. Okay, so remember you're going to practice with them 3 times for the very first time. You're going to show them and you're going to do the hand movements so it would look like this. Bull. Then you're going to say, okay, now you're going to do it. I'm going to point to it and you're going to say the sounds. So it should look like this. Bull. Same thing. And then the last time, for the third time, they're going to do everything. They're going to touch it and then they're going to say the sounds. Bull. So that's how it should look. I'll give you a little tip when you're teaching this, especially if you're teaching a younger student. They're going to have to touch each sound and then they're going to blend by sliding their finger. That's a lot of touching. Sometimes I get kids that come here that do not like to touch, and that's okay. Give them an option. Tell them that they can get a lifesaver. Give them a pen and tell them it's a lifesaver, and then they can touch it, and then they can slide it with their pen instead. Um, you can also tell them that it's a magic wand too, if they're into that. Or if they do like to point with their finger, then I say get your magic finger out, and that's helpful for them. Okay, so I wanted to give you that little tip. Okay, now that you showed the student how to do the first L blend, remind them that the L blends are going to live in the beginning of the card. So that means they live in the beginning of the word, beginning of the syllable. Okay, so then you can take them to the next one. We're doing it in alphabetical order. Remember, your cards are already made up. You've written them. So you'll take them to this one and you'll show them k, ul, kul. Now I'm going to point and you say the sounds. K, ul, kul. Then they'll point. They'll do everything. They'll point and say the sound. K, ul, kul. Pretty easy. These blends are super easy. Just keep reminding them where they live in the beginning of the card. So beginning of the word, beginning of the syllable. The next one, full, full. You show them how to do it, right? And then the next one, they're going to say it as you point, full, full. Then the last one, they'll point and say the sound themselves. Okay? And then you'll take them to the next one, GL, and you'll show them gul, gul, then they can practice, and you know how to practice with them now. And the next one, you'll show them ul, pull, and then they can practice 2 times. And the last one is right here, and you can show them ul, sul, and then you can practice with them. All right, so that's pretty much it on how to teach L blends. It makes it super easy for the student. And now that you showed the student where the L blends live and you show them how to blend it, now you're going to start off from the beginning, okay? And you're going to tell them, now that I taught you how to say the sound, all I'm going to do is point. So I don't need to show you. I'm going to point to the sound, and then you're going to blend it. So you, the parent or teacher, you're pointing and the student's saying the sound. It would look like this. Bull, bull. Teacher, parent points, student blends. Then you're going to say, did you know the blending sound looks like this? Bull. That's the blending sound. Bull. Can you do it? And they can point to it, to the card. Bull. That's the blending sound. I may ask you what the blending sound is, and you'll tell me bull. You'll blend it all together. So then you'll move to the next card. And remember, you're doing it in alphabetical order. And you'll point, and the student will say the sound, k, ul, kul. And then you'll ask them, what's the blending sound? And they should touch it and say kul. Okay? So remember, you're just going to go through each one, and you're going to do that. And that's how you're going to start off each day with this deck of cards that you practice with the student. So now that you have your L blends, now you can add this to your list of cards for the student to practice until they know it. Now that you taught your student all about L blends, you taught them how our sound cards work, and you taught them where our L blends live in the beginning of the word, beginning of the syllable, and you taught them how to blend these letters together to make L blends. So now that you did that, we're moving on to other blends. We have S blends, R blends, and ending blends. And then after we do that, then we're going to blend them all together and decode them in words. So make sure you subscribe to Directional Learning, and we can't wait to teach you more.